Now, this first stock pick was a buy in Discord at $115. It has ripped a lot since then. What's up, guys? That clip you just saw was from November 1st. That was the top 10 stocks to buy for the month of November. And since that recommendation at $150, the stock has ripped 35%. Moderna's up over 22% today off some cancer news that I'll cover here in a second. Now, if you bought based on the Discord recommendation of a $115 buy, if you bought off of that recommendation, you're up 75%, over 75%. So there are definite benefits of being in Discord, guys. Make sure to check that out for 2023. We're not generally buying stocks to trade them. We're buying them because we think they're a good value. And at the time, I thought it was undervalued even at $150, but especially when it got down to $115. And that's where a lot of Discord members were buying it. Now it's at $202.76. You can see right now the market cap of Moderna is about a $78 billion market cap. PE ratio is a 7.3. 52-week high, $321. And that 52-week low, it got right to $115.03. So why is it up 22% today? So great question, and I've got the answer right here. So Moderna and Merck working together on a cancer vaccine. The combination cuts melanoma, that skin cancer reoccurrence, by 44%. Okay, so this is one of those combination cocktail type drugs. They're taking Moderna's experimental melanoma vaccine and combining it with Merck's blockbuster immunotherapy Keytruda, and it cut the risk of skin cancer reoccurrence or death by 44% compared to just using Merck's drug alone. What's interesting is Moderna's stock ripped on the news and Merck was actually down a little bit. So Paul Burton, Moderna's chief medical officer, said in a separate interview, the combination has the capacity to be the new paradigm in the treatment of cancer. The ongoing study involved 157 patients with stage 3 and 4 melanoma whose tumors were surgically removed before treating them with these drugs. So the combination was generally safe and showed a statistical significant benefit compared to just using the Merck drug alone. And this is after a year of treatment. Serious drug-related effects occurred in 14.4% of patients who received the drug vaccine combination compared to 10%. So 4.4% more issues, which I guess makes sense. You're combining a couple of drugs. So where's the stock going from here? Is it still a buy at $200, or has it run too hard too fast and you need to wait for a pullback? Let's look at a chart. I'll tell you where I think it might go. So before I move on to the chart, what's interesting here is that Moderna on Fidelity, it shows you a 5.97 PE ratio. That's pretty darn cheap. Now the risk here, of course, is that they had extreme growth and you're going to have tough comps. So you have all this growth and that growth is going to decelerate. That's the fear. Why? Because Moderna primarily deals with vaccines for COVID-19. So the fear is when people don't need those as much and that starts to go away, the numbers are going to fall off a cliff. Think of like Zoom video during the pandemic. And that is a risk and a concern. But are you looking at it as a growth stock or a value stock? I'd argue it's more still of a value stock at a 6 PE ratio at $203. So can this go back in the $300 range? Let's look at a chart and see where it might go from here. Now, before we cover the chart, just real quick, guys, I need to announce this video is sponsored by The Motley Fool. If you'd like to see the 10 best stocks to buy now, visit fool.com/firedupwealth. A reminder that Motley Fool does not tell me what to make, doesn't tell me what stocks to cover. I'm completely independent. They're a great partner. They allow me to bring content like this to you on YouTube free at no cost to you, okay? Also, I mentioned earlier about buying Moderna at $115 in Discord. If you'd like to join our private Discord community, you can check out patreon.com/firedupwealth. Join Elite or higher to join us in Discord. We also have a $10 tier that shows you what stocks we're buying now. And we did also recently cover a video that was a Patreon exclusive that covered top 5 biotech stocks to buy. That was this summer. And we had a member from the community named Virus, and he joined me on this video and basically shared his 5 ideas. Now, he works in this industry. He works for a biotech company, and Moderna was high on his list. Okay, so we have a lot of members that have benefited from stocks like Moderna. If you'd like to join our community and learn about stocks, learn about investing, check out patreon.com/firedupwealth. So let's look at the chart of Moderna and see where this thing might go. Now, one thing I always say, guys, is be careful chasing. So you don't want to chase a stock when it's ran 23%. Now, of course, the market has faded. CPI data came in later than expected, but we have FOMC meetings tomorrow. Jerome Powell is going to speak. This thing was actually up about $208, and it's faded down to about 202, 203 where it's at right now. Now, if you look at this, this is a pretty nice setup here, and it snapped back. You've got this this gap right here. This bounced really aggressively off that 115 area. 115, 120, that was the area we're buying in Discord. The thing ran pretty hard all the way from 118 to 188 in a very short amount of time. If I'm looking to buy this stock, I'll be completely honest with you, I need this stock probably to pull back somewhere between these larger candles here. So if I'm just looking at this really quick, I'd probably target the top of this candle somewhere around 175. Now there's no guarantees it's going to get to 175. I'm saying though that if it was just 115, I don't really want to chase it at 215. I would suggest waiting for it to come back. Maybe it even comes back lower than 175, but you buy your first initial cost basis, your first lot at around 175, and you watch and see what it does. You're going to have earnings coming up here, in February. Who knows what's going to happen in 2023? It's still relatively inexpensive, so I think it could go higher. But when you look at this is pivot points Fibonacci. The R3 on this thing is 220, and that's probably where it's going to top out and get a lot of resistance if it goes higher. And really, if you get back to this P, it's closer to 166. So probably between 165 and 175 is where I would initially look for a starter position if you don't own this. And it certainly could go lower. It could come down to below 150. I think it probably has a higher floor. It's probably a higher floor around $145 right here on this S1. This is support line 1. That's probably the floor. Again, no guarantees. Could this thing go back and retest lows 2023 if something bad happens? Of course it can. So I would not buy Moderna at $202 after it's ran 75% from the lows back here, basically in September and October. I would wait for a pullback, 165 to 175. Hope this video is helpful, guys. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, click the bell to get notifications, drop me a like, drop me a comment, check out some other videos as well. Have a great day. Take care.